Hi guys, Connor Wells here. Thank you very much for joining me for another video. Welcome back to my channel. Really appreciate the views. Thank you very much for lovely responses to all my videos recently. Welcome back to Weekly Listens. This is episode number 3. As you guys know, Weekly Listens is my weekly series, obviously because the name's in the title. The gist of it is I recommend you 5 albums, an EP, a single, whatever. 5 releases that I've been listening to recently and recommend to you lovely folk. And then at the end, I also feature a local artist, and this one is really good. He's got a whole press release. Look at this. This is why I'm not famous. Anyway, let's not beat around the bush. Let's get into the first album. Now this one, I think I've mentioned before on my Facebook page, Twitter or Instagram. A guilty pleasure for me is Take That. As you can tell, I've got, for some reason, quite a few Take That CDs. I mean, look at that. I've got the Ultimate Collection fucking greatest hits. Like, look at that. Seriously, like, how bad is my music taste? Anyway, as you guys know, I quite like a bit of Take That. I'd kill to see them live. They're a pretty good band. They've got an amazing backing band as well, and a great collection of songwriters. Now, Take That, I've been on and off for quite a few years, and they've all gone and done their solo things. And I quite like their solo things. Wasn't so keen on Howard Donald because he went to do like DJ stuff, and Jason Orange, when he left, you know, he didn't really do too much. But Mark Owen is someone who I've always quite admired, except for the cheating scandal that he did. But yeah, Mark Owen's solo career has always been one that I've quite enjoyed, you know, especially like his first release, Green Man, which was sort of like a really indie, sort of hippie, stoner vibe album. That was pretty cool. And then his second album, which actually went to platinum, this is called In Your Own Time. This one is really good. Quite overproduced, like the guitars are really compressed, but I quite like that. Third album was a bit hit and miss. There were some good songs, some bad songs, but he basically funded it himself. You know, his record label dropped him, called How the Mighty Fall. Quite ironic really. But in 2013 he came back to being solo. He released possibly one of my favourite albums, The Art of Doing Nothing, which is such a cool title. He said like in an interview that during that time period, you know, everyone was asking him, is he going to be doing solo stuff again, or is he going to be Take That? And people were asking him on the phone, what you doing? And he said, nothing. This album's like really electronic. It's got a really cool sort of indie guitar vibe, you know, lots of reverb, really spacey reverb vocals. Raven is one of my favourite songs on the album. I think it's possibly the favourite song on the album, because it's got this lyric that and like the booklet is really cool. I love the booklet. There's a lyric in there that says, every idea is a starting place, nothing begins in an empty space. Somewhere on me, when I pluck up the courage, I do want that tattooed. So yeah, definitely check out The Art of Doing Nothing by Mark Owen. I know it's a bit of a iffy one to start the video with, but I don't care. I pretty much love this album. So yeah, check out this album. Moving on swiftly to album number 2. This is a covers album. Now, I follow Ryan Adams on Instagram. He posts some funny shit. Often I don't really take it too seriously. Now, a good few years ago, back in 2015, Ryan Adams was talking about Taylor Swift and how he was going to cover her latest album, 1989. Everybody, I think, took it as a joke. Ryan Adams just taking the piss, you know, doing what he does. A few months later, he released this, 1989. At first, I wasn't really sure what to make of this album because, let's be funny, it's Taylor Swift. It's actually fucking good, I'm not gonna lie. Like, when you break that, like, get rid of all Taylor Swift's vocals, all the electronics and all the crap that she puts on her singles, not slagging her off or anything, because she's done pretty well, and I'm sure she's got a nice kitchen. When you break the song down, lyrically, it's really good. He released the first song from the album, which was Bad Blood, which is really cool song. He's put it in a really weird 4/5 timing from the chorus, then a 4/4 timing in the verse, so it's a really cool song to play live. This is a really cool album for you to check out. So highlight tracks for me are Clean, Blank Space, and Out of the Woods. Out of the Woods obviously was Taylor Swift's last single from the 1989 album, and this one's really cool. It's really slowed down. It's like a ballad really. It's a really slow acoustic ballad. 1989, Ryan Adams / Taylor Swift. Right, album number 3. This one is a perfect album, and I'm going to do this one before I do number 4. You'll understand why. As you guys know, I am a huge fan of Nick Drake. If you don't know who Nick Drake is, Google him now, Spotify him, he's just incredible. He only released 3 albums, played about 12 shows, and died really young, on my birthday actually, which is really weird. but he's such an amazing musician, so ahead of his time. Guitar playing ability was incredible. How he played and sung at the same time is amazing. Songs like Riverman, just Google Nick Drake. But this album called Brighter Later is my favourite album of his. So I got this down at David's Music and Books in Letchworth. Check them out. There are only a few of these going about, and it's a collector's item. So they did this for all 3 of his albums. 5 Leaves Left, his second album Brighter Later, and his last album Pink Moon. Then this is really cool. You get a little poster advertising one of his gigs and a review in a magazine, and then a gig poster where he was opening for John Beverly Martin. That is pretty cool because he didn't play many shows. You get some set lists. How cool is that? Like, that is his handwriting. Obviously it's a copy, but that is his handwriting. How amazing is that? This album starts off with a really cool opening track just called Introduction. It's literally just him finger picking the same riff with a guitar in a really weird tuning as well. I can't remember the tuning, I'll post it in the comments below. And just some strings. It's a really simple introduction which leads into Hazy Jane 2, which is a really upbeat, poppier song for him. On this album I feel like his producers wanted a little bit more commercial release compared to what 5 Leaves Left did. Highlight tracks for me are Northern Skies. Now, as you guys know, Northern Sky is a song that I often play down at the Angels Share in Hitchin with Harpreet Singh. He is a huge fan of Nick Drake. He's the owner of the Angels Share, and whenever I play Northern Sky, he always comes up and joins me for it because it's such a good song. It's so special to me. Really amazing. Nick Drake inspired me to play guitar a lot. I've actually got his Guild M120 there, not the exact copy. No one knows if that was actually his guitar or if it was just one from the studio that it was borrowing for the photo. No one knows what actually happened to the guitar or any of his guitars. I don't know whether back in 1974 he sold all his guitars because of depression. No one knows. That's part of the mystery of Nick Drake. So yeah, definitely check out Brighter Later by Nick Drake. Now moving on to album number 4. Now I did tell you I would be doing Nick Drake first because that is an absolute masterpiece. In your viewing eyes, I'm sure you won't consider this a masterpiece, but this is an album that I've been listening to. Let's do it. Oh yeah. Please don't unsubscribe, please don't dislike this video. I have actually been listening to One Direction's last album called Made in the AM. After listening to Harry Styles' solo album, which I will need to feature on here because that album is incredible, looking into the Wikipedia page and lots of articles about Made in the AM, Harry Styles and Niall Horan did quite a lot of the writing for this. Harry Styles also helped co-produce this album. Now, I love Harry Styles' taste of music. It really shows on this album. Definitely highlight tracks for me are Hey Angel. Would have loved to see that song played live, unfortunately it never was. Drag Me Down as well, I do that at my solo cover gigs, so if you're down there, shout out Drag Me Down, and of course I will play that for you, all about bringing that value. And another one, I Want to Write You a Song, which is a really cool little acoustic track, really great harmonies. It's basically talking about a guy who wants a girl and he wants to write her a song to show how much he loves her, so that's pretty cool. Made in the AM, One Direction, who'd have thought. Right, we're on to album number 5 now. This is the last one before the local artist and unsigned artist I feature. Right, this album is called Written in Scars. This is by Jack Spaghetti, Jack Tagliatelle, Jack Savoretti. Now, I don't really like the re-release album. As mentioned before, I like Take That. Back in 2014, they released an album called Free. I got the bonus edition with 3 extra tracks. I'm fine with buying a bonus edition. Then they did a tour and released a tour video, and the only way to get the DVD of the tour was buy the album again. What's the point on paying for an album you've already bought just to get a little bit of extra content, which by the way wasn't really that good. With Written in Scars, I wasn't too keen on it. This was a re-release album. I hadn't purchased the original album. I know he's made a few tweaks to the original album on this one. This one basically just features 2 extra tracks on CD 2 and a few live tracks. Now, I'm not keen on the live tracks unless it's a full concert. The original album on here is incredible. Really great album for a singer-songwriter turned sort of more electric, upbeat pop vibe. Now, I really like that. A few highlight tracks for me are The Other Side of Love, Written in Scars, which is the title track, and Fight Till the End. Now, the re-release, I discovered the single Back Where I Belong because it was just underneath my album Home Is Where Your Heart Is on the pre-order charts. Check that out now, description below. Really nice sort of upbeat electric song. This is really showcasing his ability to play on acoustic as well, which is great, and on electric. So definitely check out Written in Scars. Now onto our local artist. This guy got in touch with me, which is incredible. I never thought I'd have musicians getting in touch with me, wanting to be on my little dead channel on weekly listens. So thank you very much, Harry. Like I said, he's got a freaking press release. Like, how professional is that? Like I said, this is why I'm not famous. I don't work that hard. This is a guy called Harry Miller. I am going to read from this because I don't want to mess it up for him, because he has put out an amazing EP. Now, Harry got in touch with me through email saying he's got an EP coming out on the 21st of September called Leave the Past Behind. Now, this EP has a really prominent theme, and that theme is remorse, especially on a track like Scarlet. Now, Scarlet, for me, I don't know, I've not asked you, Harry, sounds like it was written on a loop pedal. I don't know if it's just me, because I write on a loop pedal myself. You can tell that, you know, it starts with a few fingerpick bits, 4 bars, another guitar bit, another 4 bars, another guitar bit. Now, I really like that. It's got a really real, raw, unplugged theme to it, and I really love that. Now, Scarlet deals with remorse and is a way of paying tribute and a way of coping with grief about the death of his baby cousin. Now, I personally relate to that song really well. I'm not going to delve into that now because this is all about you, Harry. Now, you can tell that this EP is written about some very sensitive subjects, which is very personal to Harry, especially on tracks like The 15th and When We Were Young, which again deals with the breakdown of personal relationships. And then Harry says here he chose to close the album with Wake Up as an ensuring message of hope. Now, I really like that. An EP that has 3 tracks to start it, which are quite remorseful and a way of grieving, really personal, and then ending it on the last track with hope. That is really nice for me. I really enjoyed that. Harry, you've put out a brilliant EP. When it comes out on the 21st of September, I encourage everyone to buy it. I'll link all of his links in the description box below, so check them out. Now, Harry has 2 upcoming dates in Liverpool. That's where he's based, so if you're in Liverpool, make sure you go to these shows. He has got a headline show at the Sound Basement on the 22nd of September, which is the day after his EP is released, so please make sure you go to that. Then he's got a second show in Liverpool supporting Dan Owen. Dan Owen is an artist that I featured on my first weekly listen. If you want to watch that back and listen to his album and my thoughts on it, click up in the card above and you'll find the whole playlist of my weekly listens. Now, Harry is supporting Dan Owen at the Leaf Bold Street on the 4th of October. Really cool support slot. Make sure you get in touch and ask for more details about that and where to get tickets. So guys, that concludes this week's weekly listens. Thank you very much for watching. Really appreciate it. If you like this video, please hit the thumbs up button. If you didn't like this video, obviously don't click it. There's a thumbs down button. It's there for you to fucking use if you want it. If you did enjoy as well, please hit subscribe. Let me know what you think. And of course, like I say, recommend me any albums you think I should be listening to. Thank you very much for watching, guys. As always, really appreciate it. Peace and love. Have a good rest of the week, guys, and catch up with you all soon. Have a good one. Thank you very much for watching this episode of Weekly Listens. If you want to hear some of my music, you can find it on iTunes, Spotify, and all the links on CDs on my website, www.connorwells.com. Thank you very much for the support, guys. Have a good one.